Good existence to you, my friends. This is Nicholas Jensen Denton at the Truth Observatory. It's a place where I come to just give my thoughts on the world, because I'm 1 in 7 billion, and is it naive of me of thinking I've got a unique point of view? I mean, nobody else is in my eyes. Not to my knowledge. However, I would like to address a few things, because it's been a while since I made a video, but I want to give a disclaimer. And the disclaimer is that what I'm attempting to do with this channel and with my life and my professional works and, in my personal life and everything is attempt to understand the world and the way it works. And I don't necessarily just mean the physics of it. I mean more so the metaphysics of it, because the metaphysics of it is what really has been neglected in our world. In fact, the metaphysics of it has been greatly obfuscated by the world's institutions, both political, religious, and economic. But that's another topic. Today I wanted to give the disclaimer. What I am doing is discussing it, the thing, the reality, what science has come to call the great ineffable, no, sorry, they don't do that. They say the unintelligible reality. And it's a reality that we lack in the linguistic capacity to begin to even to try to articulate and comprehend its existence. If you don't believe me, just look up, neurolinguistics, ideas about reality or something. I don't have time to go into explain it, but basically, when you ain't looking at something, shit doesn't look the way it is. And so that's what it is. That's what it has become in our English language. It is really like the ancient Chinese word for Tao. And Tao makes an interesting shape in the sound waves of my voice recorder, which it looks just like Tao. Anyways, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. That is the first line of the Tao Te Ching. And that means that is a confirmation of the modern day materialistic neurolinguistics, the smartest motherfuckers out there. I mean, they're not, I'm not saying they're smart, but they're dedicated to the explanation and to the unveiling of the universe's mysteries. And they look in multiple places. The mind's eye, the mind with the internals mechanisms, the psychosomatic, psychological mechanisms, which are very abstract according to modern science, and they look at the external world. So it's an interdisciplinary field, and it's one that's worthy of listening to. And if you don't want to go listen to it, you gotta take my word. All right. So that's exactly what the Tao is. It's a great unintelligible reality. In the English redundancy, it is thing, it is stuff, all right? It is the system, it's the beast, it is God, it is Satan, it's all those things. It's it's the line in your reality in which you cannot control. There's many things in your life you can control, and there are random things that just kind of happen to you by chance. And why that stuff happens and how it does and how it helps us learn and grow as a person and all that shit is apparently what all these religions and everything are about. But all that stuff is a little fishy. So, more to the point, this is going to be the new format of these talks. And I really like that opening I gave. Good existence, because I was debating good day, good evening, because time is always screwing with us, right? And these recordings are in the past. So, that's the disclaimer. Whatever I attempt to describe in language is not right, okay? You cannot describe this in language. It is a scientific fact, okay? Hi, we're all on the same page. So please, I'm trying to understand just like you. What I really want to understand, not the physics, but the human interaction, the metaphysics aspect of it. And so, yes, we are all humans. We are all flawed. By no means are we perfect, but that does not mean we cannot strive for perfection, for freedom, and pontificate about what exactly that is. More to the fact, more to the pontification. Well, there are facts in pontification. This is what allows us to progress. Let's look at some facts. There are institutions in this world, previously mentioned. Religion, predominantly the modern triad, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. If we look at what like that as just some sort of strange aspect of human behavior in general, I think what you'll find is that at the core of many of those, what you will find at the core of all three of those religions is a story about a psychedelic experience of one man. Okay? All these institutions are they're our culture's way of coping with the fact that there is an unintelligible reality out there that we cannot understand. And we've developed many different ways of trying to cope with it. And in a lot of ways, in my view, these things are incredibly detrimental to us, especially for the fact that when they come into knowledge of how the unintelligible reality is working, they occult it. They cover it. They lock it in a library underneath the Vatican. They do all sorts of crazy things. Humans do all sorts of crazy things. So there are institutions out there that have a general awareness of the fourth dimensional aspects of reality, and they have developed a system of aiding people in their understanding of that larger hypothetically unintelligible reality. The second reason is that I have personal experience. Every single night I go to sleep, I have dreams. We all have dreams. They feel so real that we don't know we're dreaming. We think that's real life in a real situation, and only sometimes do we actually wake up from the dream. But if you do ever find yourself looking up how to wake up in the dream, you'll find that there are many hundreds of thousands of just individuals, just like me, just like you, out there in the world that are on the internet, that are cataloging their experiences in the multiverse, in consciousness, in wake-induced lucid dreams, reporting on it, getting others' opinions. There's Facebook groups, there's Twitter groups, there's Reddit things, there's books in the library. The knowledge is abundant, and it is there, but nobody's putting it together. It's not only my personal experience which tells me, it's not just my dreams. I've gone through the process of the wild wake-induced lucid dream technique, and I know for a fact what I experienced, and that's what the early Christians knew. They said Gnosticism, Gnostic Christianity. Gnostic means to know, and when you know, it's just you know something, you can't really articulate it, you might not be able to articulate it. That's what Gnosticism is. Gnosticism emerges from an experience. You got to go through something. We're all going through it right now. We gotta reach out and get some help. That's what I'm doing. I'm reaching out. I'm looking for help. I'd like some clarity. I'd like to offer my perspective for others as well, because we need to be more open. We're all we are all psychic. We are subconsciously netted within Indra's net. It's a network of consciousness. There are mechanics behind this. Consciousness is not a haphazard byproduct of the brain. If you have these experiences and you attain gnosis, you know that is a fact. And then you start to see the world through a much more clear lens, maybe through a more singular eye. Who knows? I don't know. I want to figure out what the pineal gland is for. That's neither here nor there. The point is that there are institutions out there that you have probably had experience. You at some point have experienced ecstasy, had inspiration, used your imagination, you see, had an abstract thought, you developed a new idea, you created something. See, that's the first thing you got to know, is that you have an infinite propensity for expression, and it's most immediately expressed through our linguistic capacities, through language, which is why I'm trying to open up and trying to just speak as many words as possible so I can give people some sort of map of the interior of my brain so that they can go in there and ping around and see if there's anything that's good for them, and they can come back and we can all have a jolly fucking learning experience. There's, we've reached out. I've reached out, and you find these people on the internet and you're like, wow, there is something else out there. There is something else out there, and we're not being told about it in any direct fashion. The world's news in media outlets are directly distracting. They often are referenced to it, and if you read them thoroughly and you can see it through this fourth dimensional perspective, it seems as if the people that are writing these articles are also in the know, if you will, and that they are often hinting and suggesting towards those things. But that is just something I've seen. Anyways, what are my goals out of life? Like I said, I want to figure this stuff out. I want to figure people out, because there's a lot of turmoil. United States of America's got the greatest mental health problems of any country in the world. And I think there's a lot of there's a lot of bad reasons for that. That if people could just see their situation a little more clearly, they could make the proper decisions that would affect in a more powerful, sovereign state of being, which is what my ultimate goal out of life truly is: a state of complete independence and sovereignty, self-reliance. I need to be able to sustain myself in a physical manner, in case of AIDS, in a psycho-spiritual manner. Psycho-spiritual, I know why I said psycho. In a spiritual, psychological, spiritual, psycho-spiritual manner. That makes perfect sense. That's a good word. The theory is, when you look out there, you see people like Rudolf Steiner, like Bob Monroe, like Tom Campbell, and there's religions, there's secret societies, there's individuals that you can meet on the internet, there's individuals in your life that I guarantee you have had these experiences. There are, did I say secret societies already? Because that's one that's really important that I'd like to get across. As long as we're talking about cultural, I'd call secret societies, I would just call them repugnant, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay? Secret societies are repugnant to a free and open society, which is what America is supposed to be. They infringe on the capacity for infinite expression by seclusion. Or is it inclusion? I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm not out here to go on a witch hunt for these different institutions. There's nothing any one man can do against those. We all have to collectively grow our vision so that we can gain a better hold on this fourth dimensional reality around us. We can gain a better understanding on the Tao. We can put to rest all the foolishness that's happening in these churches, these molestations, and these tax evaders, these people that are restricting human interaction to a sick, materialistic, ritualistic tradition that is superficially just, in my opinion, it's a paradox. It's a paradox. So I think that's all I have to say today. I hope you enjoyed the show, The Truth Observatory. Nicholas Jensen Denton here. Again, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. Good night.